Okay, so we're going to look at games that I played in the 80s. And first one is from the 1982 U.S. Open, which was in St. Paul, Minnesota. It was my first U.S. Open. And I was 12 years old. And I played Knute Sorenson. And then he later went on to become a movie star, Knute. There was some character named Knute. So I played E4, which I rarely did in those days. I normally played D4, C4. Not sure why I played E4. He played the Alekhine. I always play something non-theoretical, of course. And this position, he played knight E4, which I think is a good move. I like that move. And I played knight C to E2, and the idea is to trap the knight. And I think D4 is the best move for black. One of the main lines is D4, C3, and if this pawn moves, then queen A4 check wins the knight. Sneaky. Okay.
Hey, can you fix it over here?
I mean, it's fixed.
There we go.
Oh. And, okay, so if I get to play some move like D4, then his knight's trapped. So he played knight C5, which isn't a very good move. I played D4, and he played knight to D7. Now, of course, I was 12 years old, so what would a 12-year-old play here with white? Now, the engine says it's one of the top moves.
I don't know.
What's the most aggressive move ever played by anybody ever?
C4.
More aggressive than C4. C4 is explosive.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, E6.
Oh.
Okay, and that's one of the top engine moves. It already says white's winning. And he played FE, and I played knight F4, threatening knight takes E6. Also, I'm threatening queen H5 check, and then if G6, I take it. So, now, I was only rated about 2,000 this game, so give me a break. Okay, he played knight F6. So he played knight F6 to E4 to C5 to D7 to F6. His rating was 1,800.
Crazy.
I played bishop D3, developing my bishop. C5, that's the book move, engine move. C3, knight C6, knight F3. So white sacked a pawn, and his compensation, black's bishop on F8, isn't very good. And not only that, he can't play bishop F8 because his bishop's on F8. So, strange. Okay, queen C7, that's not a very good move. Queen E2, threatening this pawn. CD, a very CD move. And he played bishop D7, which doesn't make a lot of sense. Knight takes E6. He played queen B6. I castled. No, he's just lost. Takes, takes, takes. Now he's up a pawn again. So you see how my queen's attacked twice? Okay, now I have several questions for you. First question is, what would black play if white played queen takes queen?
Oh, yeah, you could, knight F3.
Knight F3 and then takes, and then the
Yeah.
engine says it's equal. I'm down a pawn, but I have the two bishops. Okay, so the next question is, if that's not the right move, then what is the right move for white? It's the right move for white.
Let's see.
You remember nothing, Kingpin, especially the correct spelling of judgment.
Oh, you could, well, let me see. If you took the knight and the queen took, you could then maybe go bishop b5. I'm not sure. Maybe knight d4.
Knight D4 is the best.
Yeah.
defending my queen. And then, as you indicated, bishop b5 check, king to d8, and then bishop to e3. So I have the two bishops, and I have the what else? Yeah, now it says I'm +8. Now the engine move, you're sitting down, is queen c4.
Yeah.
I can prove it. There's queen c4 right there.
I can't see from here.
Yeah, but queen c4, giving the queen away. So he didn't do that because that's frankly terrible. He played queen e4, and now I have forced checkmate, which I played. And we'll give Karen a chance to look.
Let's see. What was that? A queen e4? It's the last move. Okay. Let's see. Check. Then they take. And it's check. Oh, yeah, I got these rooks. Yeah.
I got these nuts. Oh, these rooks.
So I think it's bishop b6.
That's what I played. Then he took because it's legal.
Yeah, and then queen takes.
Then he played king c8 because it's legal.
And then, guess you just get one of those rooks involved.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Now, there's several forced mates. The engine likes rook c7 and queen c7. I played bishop c6. And bishop c6 isn't as good as the other moves according to the engine, because now he can play queen b4, giving his queen away for nothing. If he plays rook a7, defending mate, then queen d8's mate, because his rook's on a7.
Right.
So he resigned.
Nice. And what year was the game?
1982 in St. Paul, Minnesota.
1982.
My first U.S. Open. Was
You
anybody in the chat at that U.S. Open? Anybody?
So you've seen this game before, Bonarici?
1882.
And you were how old?
12.
Pretty good. Meanwhile, I was in...
I was there 41 years ago.
Yeah?
I mean, he says he was. Doesn't mean he was.
I wasn't very productive at that time in my life. I was probably about 16. What you said, 1982?
Mm-hmm.
I was in southern Alabama slinging back a tall boy.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Ben was grinding away at the chess.